I got you, brother.
All right, it's on you, brother Bruce.
All right. Good evening, brothers and sisters. Give out the rules and the guidelines for the meeting for today. No cursing. Please try not to use the N-word. Sisters, please do not give out your phone numbers without approval of a division officer. Please respect each other when others are communicating. During share, limit yourself to 5 minutes. Ladies will share first, then the brothers. Respect the chain of command of the local officers. And then we'll do a roll call. We have President Everett, Secretary, which is myself, Sergeant at Arms, the Honorable General of Division, African Legion, Tony Answorth, he's present. First Vice, James Richardson. Second Vice, Mr. Frank Shaw. Lady President, she's not present at the moment, I don't believe. Okay. Head of Matron of the Black Cross Nurses, Sister Yvette, Miss Mama Earth, she is present. Technical Committee, Cameron Hopkins, Ambassador at Large, Miss Charlene Foster, Colonel of the African Legion, Jamal Pullman. Is Jamal here today? No, he's not here today. And founder and trustee of the Director of Special Projects, Mr. Caesar Kajana. He's not here at this moment. Not that I can see. Okay. All right. Sir, did you want me to do the pledge for you?
Yeah, you can go ahead if you're comfortable. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Everybody, please say after me. Raise your black fist. I commit my body, mind, and spirit to the protection and defense and security of the red, black, and green.
I commit my body, mind, spirit to the protection, defense, and security of the red, black, and green.
I dedicate my life to the redemption of Mother Africa and the liberation of her scattered Black children.
I dedicate my life
to the redemption of Mother Africa and the liberation of our scattered Black children.
I accept for myself and the descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism.
I accept for myself and my descendants the teachings of universal African nationalism.
And promise that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African.
And promise that our children will be instilled with the purpose and knowledge of themselves as African people.
In order that the cause of our struggle neither falter nor fail until all Black people are free and united.
In order that the cause of our struggle until all Black people are free and united.
Through one God, one aim, and one destiny. Raise first, brothers.
Raise first.
Right. Old news, did you want to read that, sir, or did you want me to read that?
You can start old news. I'll jump in if I need to.
Okay, old news. Crown Awards, tribute to Charlie Duger and Ernest Shaw.
Yes, Sister Charlene, myself, I'm Sergeant at Arms. We were blessed to go support Charlie Duger. He got a Crown Awards. The brothers, well-deserved, always grinding out. You know, we're helping him every year now with the Marcus Garvey Festival. I wasn't even aware that Ernest was getting an award. He like grabbed me from behind when he came in. And I actually wanted to leave. They had him last, but you know, I was told to stay and support him. So I went and stayed and watched him get this award. For those that don't know, Ernest Shaw is he's one of the top artists, I believe, out there, period, in the world. And I'm being biased because I grew up with him, but he's a powerful brother. And, he got an award as well. Did brother Tony or Sister Charlotte thoughts on the Crown Awards?
Yes, I would like to jump in because that's the first time I actually attended the Crown Awards. I've been meaning to go like every year because there's somebody that I know from the community that is a recipient. Um, but it was the first opportunity. It was great. I'm happy for Charlie Duger and also Ernest Shaw, but also had to shout out my sister girl warrior Tawanda Jones, who received her award. Just in case some of you don't know who Tawanda Jones is, she is the sister of Tyrone West, who was murdered by Baltimore City Police and Morgan State University Police back in 2013. And every Wednesday, she's been holding a rally to hold up her brother and all victims of police brutality in Baltimore City and beyond. So it was good seeing her getting that award and being acknowledged.
Also, why am I going blank? What's our sister from Be More Green? She got an award as well. I don't know why I'm going blank right now.
Shauna.
Sister Shauna, yes, she did. Yes. Brother Tony, you wanted to add anything to that, Sergeant at Arms?
Not more than what you already said. Charlie Duggar, I mean, when I got to Baltimore from New York, the first ever event I went to, I didn't know at the time, but it was that Marcus Garvey Day Parade, Charlie Duggar, you know what I mean? Like I said, long time overdue award, you know what I mean? That the brother is a soldier, you know what I mean? And I'm not leaving out my sister. I have so much admiration for that sister, man. Mr. Wanda Jones, man. Man, talk about soldier. Wow. You know, that's about it.
Awesome. Race first. Guess nobody wants to shout out DJ Booby. I'll let that go. All right, go ahead.
We're going to shout him out. No, shout him out.
Go ahead. I guess I'll go to the next one since I'm on here, Brother Bruce. Me and Sister Charlene attended the Tendania Family Our Youth Die While We Stand By community conversation. It was really powerful. I've been hitting a lot of events. I actually was coming from an event and made it there a little late, but I got there. Again, it was great. They showed us a little love. I briefly tried to get the brother to speak at one of our events maybe like a year ago. And he definitely remembered who we was and gave the UNIA a lot of love. But Sister Charlene, you want to chime in on that as well, that event and how you liked it?
For me, I came to support the young adults putting this together because one of their members, as a matter of fact, a youth was killed through homicide. So it's near and dear to them. Just showing up to know what it is that they're looking for the community to do, how we can be involved and be more intentional in supporting what they're doing, and most importantly, supporting the youth and young adults who was not in that space. We have yet to reach them, because that's the big thing right there, trying to reach them, connect with them, talk to them, let them tell us what's happening, and hold space for them. And I think it was a perfect opportunity to start that process of holding space. That's it for me.
Okay, I say good. Go back on you, Brother Bruce.
Sorry, give me a second. I turn my printer on real quick. I believe how the pronunciation of the name is Tendia Family. Tendia Family. Our youth. I'm not sure how to pronounce that. Tendia Family. Our Youth Die Will Stand By community conversation. Tendia Family. Our Youth Die
While we stand by.
While we stand by community conversation.
Yeah.
That was somebody that recently died, sir.
No, that was it was an event that me and Sister Charlene went to. So yes, I spoke about that. In fact, I'm gonna go to the next one since you on, and just to give you a shout out as well as Brother James. Our African Legion is really getting geared up right now. And so We have 2 generals in our division. General of the African Legion were appointed at our last African Legion meeting. Our 2nd Vice President, Brother James, is appointed the General of District 3, and Brother Bruce, who is appointed General of District 6. Now, I know Brother Bruce is going to be working on starting his own division now, so he'll hold that position on until, you know, he can get that thing together and we'll appoint somebody else. But shout out to both of those brothers. The African Legion is a paramilitary. It's serious. We're taking it very serious. We've been meeting, we've been unifying, and it's looking real good right now. So shout out to those brothers, especially Brother James. He got his conceal and carry, and I'm working on taking that class this month in December. So shout out to Brother James for taking that commitment very seriously. And I guess you can go over what we went over last meeting. Oh no, orientation of officers training, Brother Bruce. You might have froze, so I'm gonna keep going until you get back, Brother Bruce. Another powerful officers training. Last week we had the Minister of Education, of course, Secretary General, and Business Minister of Labor was there. Mama Farrell was there. It was definitely powerful because you get to hear the elders when we break in our training. Of course, I took the class and passed it, but I always go and take it because, you know, it's best to master our knowledge, and I don't have it mastered. It was very good because I learned, we were talking about the hidden lessons, and we were talking about the hidden lessons, and it's a brother that I hit because he was actually trained by the writer of the book, Charles L. James. So I hit him and I was asking him about the hidden lessons, and he was pretty much saying the hidden lessons are life lessons that we do every day. And that was definitely very powerful. And just to sum up our last meeting, we went over the movie Till and Wakanda Forever. We mentioned our recruiting for the African Legion and the Black Cross nurses. And our special guest, who we're about to introduce in a minute, couldn't make it, but he's on today. So as soon as we go over our new news, we'll get him in. The new news, I just mentioned the African Legion appointments for Brother James and Brother Bruce. I'm going to be doing the broadcast. Sister Rachel, she'll be joining us a little later. But what happened was she introduced me to a brother, an African brother named Brother Mobali. He has a podcast. It's pretty popular in all the continents that are French speaking. I think he has about 35,000 viewers. I'm going to be doing his podcast on December 10th. So I want to shout out to her. She said she may be late. She's coming off of work. That's our new member, and thank her for that. And just to let you know, when you take your orientation, that is actually one of the questions in orientation. How many African countries are still owned by French, are owned by the French? I believe I probably said that wrong, but that's one of our orientation questions. So, you know, that is something that if you guys can, that probably late now, but for next year to try to take that orientation is definitely important. Events, not unless you knew any events coming up, Sister Charlene.
Not at this time.
Okay, cool. I guess doing member share, I can I see Messiah's on, and you and Brother Franken. I had the bounce, but you and Brother Franken that we had for him, that we didn't have, but you guys attended for him. And then I wanted to get in Brother Anthony. I think this is very important as we talked about the African Legion. Brother Tony is going to talk to us. This is about security, making sure we protect the association at all costs. Brother Tony?
Yeah, a lot of us have a habit of when we're small and growing, we don't start doing things the right way until it gets bigger. But my whole look at the UNIA as an organization, as a government, we got to be We got to be security conscious. I'm not talking about paranoia. That's a whole different story. I'm talking about we have to be security conscious. You know what I mean? You got to be careful of who you discuss certain things with pertaining to the UNIA. That's one of the things. You know, we already had that. We already have that. And people are pretty much using that properly. The what they
Signal.
call it?
Signal.
Signal to because I made it clear to Pres that I mean when we send in sensitive files, we need to send them as securely as possible. I mean, there's nothing that's 100% secure, but you go with the most secure thing that you could find. You know what I'm saying? So when we're sending any kind of UNIA documents, we need to utilize Signal and Signal only. Do not send UNIA sensitive documents over just open internet like that. That's thing. And another part to this is that the UNIA was always an organization that collaborates, and we still that hasn't changed. But when we're collaborating, hear me good. When we're collaborating, we gotta vet people who are potential collaborators before we get into them. We got to vet them properly, because 9 out of 10 they're gonna vet us. So we need to vet them, not just jump in, because I mean we had a real something where we almost, I'm not going to get deep into it, where we almost collaborated with an entity. I'm not going to call them by name, and I got inside information that they ain't down. You know what I mean? They wasn't with it. You know what I'm saying? They had certain front people that, you know, were showing us love, and that's cool. But I got inside information that you got others in the same organization that don't feel the same way about us. So we kind of nip that in the bud. But I mean, even seriously, I mean, even this book, Race First. One of the first things it tells you after the title is the ideological and organizational struggles of Marcus Garvey and the Universal Negro Improvement Association. So even Garvey himself and a lot of the elders pointed out a lot of mistakes that were made in the past. And personally, if those mistakes were already pointed out, I don't see why we should come and repeat the same mistakes. Race first.
Race first, Sergeant at Arms. I appreciate it. And, you know, like I always say, we got to protect the association at all costs. You know, and sometimes we let people in, and sometimes the emotions get the best of them. Some people can't serve, they want to lead, and that's okay if they do their own thing. But we got to move very cautiously, because, you know, we're building up some great things right now. The energy is really, really high. It's really, really high. The work that's being done right now since I've been in the UNIA is phenomenal. And so we want to keep that, anything to distract us. And sometimes that happens. And, you know, I even have to be mindful of the people I deal with at times, because, you know, they're cool people, but, you know, aligning with them sometimes could hurt the movement. So we just got to just be very cautious of how we move and protect our organization at all costs. And on that note, and thank you again, Brother Tony, because that's real important. And on that note, I wanted to introduce our guest speaker. Brother Dote, are you there, my brother?
unmute, brother.
Can you hear me?
We got you, my brother.
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
I was mute.
You still there?
Yes, I'm here.
All right, the floor is yours, my brother. Proceed.
Okay. Traditionally,
I say.
I say.
I say, okay, in my language, Eve, I would say, I go after I ring the bell. I say I go, which means
May I have your attention?
I'm knocking at the door. And you say,
Amen.
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 Amen. Somebody, Amen. Person,
Amen.
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 may the person get inside.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and I'm inside now, and I can talk to you, brothers and sisters. When I met Everett, I was chill because I felt like he's a brother, a blood brother. And I'm waiting for the DNA and see if you are not my my mother's child. And having said that, I greet you all with respect. And I thank you for you who are here in America and on the American continent for the sacrifice you made for me to come 20 years ago to enjoy getting into the bus from the front and sitting on Rosa Parks' seat. Thank you. I know the sacrifice you have made. Now, for the sake of time, I'm not gonna comment anything I'm going to say. I will just list what I have. If we have time left, you can ask some question. But I promise you, as soon as I can, I want to meet in person with Everett. For the reason you have put forward, there are things we cannot afford to talk about over the phone. Number one, work together as a people or team and family. And after so many years of separation from colonialism and out of colonialism and slavery, is a prowess, is a miracle. And it takes a spiritual vision and retrovision to go further away 400 years or so to know that you are me. So if we don't succeed in doing it, don't blame each other. We need to talk about it and work for it and ask for spiritual power to take us there. That's number one. Can I move forward?
Yes, sir.
Okay, number two, who can bridge the abyssal gap? Who can bridge it? Marcus Garvey tried, but you know what happened to him. Number three, who is the invisible destroyer? Who killed Garvey? Who think that he died of natural death? You were talking about Emmett Till. We were talking about Dr. King, Malcolm X. The other side, we were talking about Nyobe and Patrice Lumumba, Dr. Nkrumah, and in my country, I don't know if you heard about Sylvanus Olympio. And who killed them? Okay, I leave the answer to you. We will work on that. And do you think that the person who did it like one-time act or a perpetual plan to continue to do it? I have the answer, but I will tell you that I don't have it. Number 4, systemic racism, white supremacists, wipe African people out of the continent and keep the continent with its resources only. Number 5, my teachings are on some theories. I have the revelation of, number 1, the octopus versus serpent. The devil that is killing us don't have the form of a serpent. It's an octopus. Its mandibles and wings are all over Africa. One coming from China, another coming from the Arabic, because one of the fiercest enemy we have are the Arabs. They start slavery. Then one comes from Russia, another from Europe, and then one from here, North America. So it's octopus. Beware of that. So if you think you have killed the serpent in Togo or in Ghana, you ain't do nothing. The Caribbean's octopus is there. Okay. That's one of my theory. I have a whole lot of drawings because I write coloring books because my people don't read, unfortunately. So I prefer instructing them with coloring books. It's fun and they can learn out of that. I don't write too much academic books. And following, their strategy is to cut the head that thing. Be careful, you all. As you are thinking, your head is at price. Wanted, lady, men, children, they cut head because they know if they cut it, it will take 50 to 100 years to grow another priceless head to think. So in the meantime, the fight and the victory will be canceled and delayed. And they will take their time to re-strategize. Okay? And we got some names who died out of global lynching. The lynching is not local, it's global. And Nat Turner, Toussaint Louverture, John Brown, Marcus Garvey, Trayvon, MLK Jr., Khalil Mohammed, Lumumba, Mandela, Gaddafi, George Floyd, etc. And the last one, unfortunately, is Jean-Philippe Omotunde. I don't know if you heard about it. He died in Guadeloupe. No. Google it, Jean-Philippe Omotunde, the star who knows about all, the origin of humanity, Africa, Kenya, Australopithec, black men. He knows about everything, just like check and top.
What was his name again?
Omotunde. Omoutounde. You can't miss it. Omotunde.
Thank you. I got him.
They poisoned him. It was 2 weeks ago. And Mandela has something in particular. You gotta put it down. There was Mandela 1, the hero and the strong man. And Mandela 2 was the broken Mandela, who was put into a stadium. They play in front of him a fake rugby and soccer World African Cup. And the 2 matches was rigged. And then he was dancing while they were drilling the oil and the diamond under his ground. That was Mandela 2. Now, what you guys did was, and you didn't do the finished job, when you take Mandela out of prison, you thought you have helped Africa win the victory, but it was the start of the fight when the guy was out of prison. Now, when you stop, then they crutch us, because as soon as Mandela went out, while he was ruling, they kept killing people. I don't know if I know you know it. So apartheid or discrimination has still not ended in South Africa, but Mandela is gone. We need to dig into that. The money thing, the wisdom of the poor is not listened to. We need to have a lot of money. Marcus Garvey tried with the Black Star business, but they kill him. They kill the business, they kill the man. Don't say that Marcus Garvey died free in the Caribbean. They kill him. There are a different kind of killing people softly.
That's
which,
right.
Yeah, which is very atrocious. Now, going from local to global to international organization, national NAACP. What is that? National Association of the Advancement of Colored People.
Yeah, yeah.
It should be international, not national. So we need to think about that. If that exists, we need to take it international. I will explain why when we meet. We need to be thinking local, but acting and fighting global, international battle. That is called Pan-Africanism. Pan is international. Aimé Césaire, Frantz Fanon, Gontran Damas, they try. Frantz Fanon relocate to Algeria and fight, but they poison him with leukemia. Bob Marley take his music worldwide, they kill him. We need to think about that. Last time, Pastor Dr. Monroe of Jamaica, right, or Bahamas, his plane accident, be careful, it's not an accident, be careful. That's why they won't publish the report of the fact-finding mission, okay? Now, what we are doing is called brainstorming. We are think tanks, and we think with our head. And you know what they do with the head, that think and find solution. They cut it. We need to protect, to helmet our heads with a spiritual helmet. And this thinking needs to go 24/7, because they, while we are sleeping, are working 24/7, toiling in the night to reach their height from where they kill us. We need to think 24/7, toiling in the night to reach our on top of Kilimanjaro. You know, Kilimanjaro is the tallest mountain in Africa. We need to fight from the top of Kilimanjaro. And last not least, in my list 12 is fast and pray. I'm a Christian. I was declared dead of COVID in 2020. And in my coma and nearly death, I saw three things. My mother, whose 10th anniversary of death is today, very day. And my dad, who passed away 30 years back, and the Spirit of Jesus. And he told me that the solution to our problem is love and forgiveness. Forgive 7 times 70. We will elaborate on that next as we go along. 10 on my sheet, the other sheet, yeah, is forgiveness. So now my message, my sermon is teaching peace, truth, light, and love God. No hate, no gun violence, no mass shooting, racial dialogue towards racial reconciliation, reparation, and commitment to never again. And for us to make it never happen again, we have to build a watchtower for prevention of conflict. We have to prevent conflict before they occur and never again. Sustainable peace and steady growth and progress, never take it for granted. We have to build it and nurture it. And we have to make sure we pass the baton. And whenever our people are in power, our people, when I say our people, is like Barack Obama. We need to instruct people we put in power so that our own people don't go to Africa and kill Gaddafi. I was disappointed when I campaigned for Barack Obama. He went there and killed Gaddafi. It's very sad. Then the African year, Unia, how do you call it? United what? What is the organization called?
Oh, you're talking about our organization?
Yes, UNIA.
Gotcha. Universal Negro Improvement Association, African Communities League.
Okay, why did he almost die right after Marcus Garvey died? Why did he slow down? Who pulled it down? We need to. I know you have the answer, but we are not going to, for time's sake. SCLC, Southern Christian Leadership Conference of Dr. King. Why should that organization die down while Jesse Jackson was still alive? Why should Jesse Jackson go and create PUSH? Why? I don't know, but maybe you have the answer. And you, Black African of the diaspora, you don't know your power. If you knew, you should have changed Africa a long time ago. That's why the president of African nation don't want you to get involved in their business. If you will raise your voice like Dr. Dubois, he relocated and went to Ghana. As soon as he get to Ghana, they kill the president of Ghana, and they don't want, he at the point of time he was sick and wanted to come back here for treatment. They didn't allow him. He died there in a very adverse condition. And his wife was sent out of Ghana she flew to go and finish his life in the Soviet Union. Do you know that? So be careful how people are persecuting us, but we don't know. Frantz Fanon went and settled in Algeria to fight for independence in the Algeria war against France, and they killed him. They say he died out of leukemia, but he himself was a medical doctor. He know everything. How did he get leukemia? And he died. Kwame Nkrumah, the same thing, died. Now, spiritually, we need to have our own Vatican. The Pope is not fighting for us. We need to have our own Vatican, and we need to find in people like Emmett Till, And all the children that died in Birmingham bombing, we need to find in them Jesus Christ. And if we are to worship kneeling in front of a cross, if we lift up our head, the Christ we should see on those crosses should be Emmett Till and the 4 little girls from Birmingham, and so on and so forth. Get into the spirit and you will see what I'm talking to you about. And all those things, I want to put it in a book, a coloring book that I need somebody to help me publish and go viral on social media, and it will make us part of the millions dollar we need to fight the good fight of the Lord. I thank you, Ashe.
Ashe, brother Adoti. Before I go, if anybody has some questions, I wanted you to just talk a little bit about the human resources powerhouse, your company.
Okay, as the name said it, we are an inexhaustible powerhouse. There's no limit what we can do. We are like the Amazon River that can bring electricity to the whole world. That's what you and we are. So why don't we harness our power, channel it, and fuel our fight? Even if you want to make it a violent atomic force, we can do. But we don't want to self-annihilate, self-destroy ourselves. We are more intelligent. Do you know why the Ukraine war is a fake one? If it's not fake, they should have used atomic bomb. It's a fake war. They make it for them all to steal, to smuggle weapons and to steal money. Nancy Pelosi, even Obama, unfortunately, is part of the game. The president, Joe Biden, Kamala Harris, unfortunately, they went around and are involved in weapon money thing.
Just like the war.
One of the unfortunate men who did that, but he died, is Kofi Annan when he was the Secretary General of UN. His son was involved in weapon traffic thing in Iraq after they destroyed Iraq. So we got to be careful how we use our human resources powerhouse. People inside of us, inside of the house, may be working against us knowingly or unknowingly. That's why somebody was saying that there are things we need not to say publicly.
Yeah, that's right.
We need to get together and talk, face to face, or we need to have some commissioners like Greyhound. We need to have our own Greyhound, and the driver is you and I working. If we flew or we drive from here to Bahamas, the diplomatic bag, which is in the hand of a gorilla, back home we call gorilla a strong man who can a strong man who is like a bodyguard who will hold the diplomatic secret bag and handle it to Everett or to Bruce or to Mama Yvette. That's why we need to do our confidential correspondences. So the powerhouse, as the name is the small garden where we grow our force, our human power. That's what it is. Now, what do we want to grow? If it's salad or lettuce or tomato, depending on the sauce we want to make, we will grow our vegetable in the powerhouse. How do you call it? This place where they grow the grain before they go and plant it. That's why it's a human resources powerhouse.
I got you. Well, I want to thank you on the floor. But if anybody has some questions, you can raise your hand real quick before we move on. But I want to thank you because when I handed you my card, you looked at the card, you said, Marcus Garvey, you better call me. He said, I'm going to be disappointed if you don't call me. You gave me your call. He's like, I expect to hear from you because you knew the duty and as that I must be as a servant to our organization. And I was blessed to hook up with you. And I just love to build that connection from Africa to America so we can unite globally. It's very important. You know what I'm saying? That, you know, sometimes we get caught up in our own troubles that we forget that we can't do it just over here. And people can't do it over there. People can't do it in Jamaica. We have to unite globally. If we don't, then we're always going to be peons. And that's one of the reasons why Marcus Garvey started the UNIA. You know, he started working, he went to Central America, he went to London, he started traveling at an early age, and he said, man, Black people catching hell all over. He saw one common denominator. He's like, where's the Black man's God? Where's his government? Where's his army? Where's everything? So he created the UNIA. And so I appreciate you, my brother, and thank you so much for speaking to us. And I'm glad you're doing well. You was in an accident last week, and you was like, I'm gonna do it. I was like, take your time. You're like, I'm gonna be there, brother. I'm ready. So I want to open the floor. If anybody had any questions, feel free to jump in.
Yeah, I had a quick question, and I just want to say thank you, brother. Your speech was very powerful, and it feels really, really good to hear brothers from the continent, you know, talking the same way that we talk, even if we don't say it out loud sometimes. And I think that you're very, very diplomatic in how you speak as well. So I commend you on that. My main question that I had was, you know, how did you come about acquiring this knowledge? Is this something that you researched on your own, you know, like maybe when you got over here, or is this being taught, you know, on the continent?
Thank you so much. It's a long journey. I'm 65 years old now. I have started working very early at age 21. I worked for an airline called Air Afrique, which was an international airline back in the days until 1998, and it collapsed. I heard you talk about how many countries in Africa are French speaking. We are 14, 4. A third one is a small island, but they speak both French and Spanish. So we are 14, and those 14 countries own that airline that was an international airline. But in 1998, France broke it down under the name of globalization. And ever since, we don't have any more airline of that kind. Now we are using Air France to the advantage and profit of France, unfortunately. It was back in those days that I was very early engaged in labor union activism. And that's where I started learning about the global issues. And the organization, the airline has a branch here in New York City. We come to New York City. So my scope of work is extended to American airline workers too, because I represent Africa inside the International Transport Workers Federation, which is based in London. So I cover all those things. So I have to learn about culture to understand why Black airline workers will complain here in America. They will complain not only about salary, but they complain about the color of their skin. So that's how I got into the research. And then I got a scholarship to spend a year in Penn State University to learn about what happened to Blacks in this country, how they are killed, how they survive miraculously throughout the ages, how they survive in the Caribbean, growing cottons, and in Brazil, President Lula was a union activist. We met in London. So those are the things that back in the days, not now, when he was president first, we met in London. So that's how I got to know. And I don't praise myself. I read too much and my head will explode before my books.
Well, thank you very much, brother.
Mm.
Thank you for that question, Brother Cam. Go ahead, Brother James, first vice.
Race first. I heard you mentioning that I thought it was very interesting, your analogy of the European the colonists being a octopus, not a snake. And you mentioned some people like Patrice Lumumba. And I don't and if you've traveled through the US, especially on like the airlines, you've noticed down in Virginia, they have an airport named after the man that was in charge of killing Lumumba. And it's amazing how they go throughout, you know what I mean? And they go out murdering, you know what I mean? Our people, our leaders, and they set up monuments right in front of you. And if you don't do the research and find out, like, who is this man? You know what I mean? Who is Dulles? Who is this airport named after? And when you when you realize, like, oh man, this dude worked with Bush, and you know what I mean, this guy was, you know what I mean, top, and you know, he was in the CIA, and he stepped up. He volunteered to take the job. Like, yeah, nah, yeah, let me handle this. That would be my pleasure to be able to take this guy out. You know, it's amazing. But to cut the head off, is a tall order, and unfortunately, the struggle lies in waking up our people and realizing that, you know what I mean, the power, like you said, the power that we have globally. I mean, there's not one place on this planet that we weren't first. There's not one place that they can name, that they can point to on a map anywhere that we weren't already there. So the power that we hold, you know what I mean, in humanity, in medicine, in everything, in technology, that if we was to come together, me and my buddy was talking today about all the problems with Twitter and Facebook and everything. And I'm like, man, if we got enough Black programmers, we should be able to come up with our own platform. We should be able to do our own thing. But the real trick of the octopus is to constantly keep you fighting against each other, to keep you, you know what I mean, looking to see what one arm is doing while the other arm is up to something else. You cut off one tentacle, the next tentacle come. Brace first, brother. I love that analogy, man, of the octopus.
Thank you very much. And one other thing before I go, because my phone is running out of energy. Very quick. Yes, the octopus thing is very real. I saw it in my dream, and it's a kind of a revelation. And somebody said, without revelation, there is no revolution. So let us. The Bible says that the weapon of our fight is not carnal. So let us focus on working with revelation and spiritual realm, in the spiritual realm, because we can only see 1% of things materially. 99 or 95% of power and things that happening is in the spirit. And it takes me to the other theory that I developed, the theory of the tip of the iceberg. 5% only is visible. 95% is happening underwater, where the great big fishes are operating, whales, sharks, and the big fish are underground. You and I, if we want to operate on the tip of the iceberg, we will remain among chickens and small fishes. We can go deep into the water where the octopus is operating and where the whales and sharks are operating. We need to go down where the big fishes and the crocodiles are operating. And then about the international thing, Black Lives Matters, and I'll end it there. Black Lives Matters. God showed me that it won't matter until it matters in the continent. If you want to protect lives only here in America, you won't succeed, because the killing didn't started here. It started in the cradle of humanity, which is Africa. So we need to protect life in Africa. When one single person is killed in Africa, we should be walking the street protesting like we did when George Floyd was killed. I have a T-shirt I designed for the freedom of George Floyd. Brother Everett, make sure when we meet, ask me about the T-shirt and all the memorabilia I got ready to be sold by a knowledgeable marketer that I am not, to make us a lot of money. Thank you.
Thank you, Brother Doty. And I know you have to go.
Yes.
So I thank you again. We're definitely going to hook up, and we're going to talk some serious business. And thank you again, and I love you, my brother.
Bye.
See you later, my brother.
Amen.
I will get in touch, Everett, to set up the early date of our meeting next week.
You got it. I'm all for it. Let's make it happen.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right.
Great
That was a good brother right there. I met this brother at a breakfast, and I'm always trying to network and just push the UNIA and get Black people together. And the brother, I gave him my card, and he looked at me like, Marcus Garvey, like serious, like, all right, I'm here to give you my card. I'm gonna see what you're about. See if you're gonna call me. I'm like, I'm gonna call you. And I called him, and he just busted out laughing, full of love and energy. And basically the first thing he said when I talked to him was like, let's stop playing, let's unite. Meaning let's get Africa and America on the same accord. And sometimes a lot of people don't want to hear that, but there's so many differences and people just get focused on the other problems, but we all one. We all got the same issues all over, and we just gotta unite as a force. But I'm gonna keep it going. Back to the agenda. I'm sorry, I'll talk to y'all guys forever so we can stay on point. And where we at? And before members share, Sister Yvette is Sister Gwendolyn. Are you aware? Did we lose Sister Yvette?
Yeah, I don't see her on here.
I don't see her either.
Okay. Well, I do see. Let me see. All right, so we lost Mosiah as well, because they was going to talk about this farm. And as you do know, Lady Prayers, when I was at the convention, and they said, if you can't do a farm, do a garden. But we need to have a Liberty Farm in every location. You know, we want to start building our own produce. We want to start building our own. And it starts, even if we have our own backyard. Lady Prayers probably got the baddest garden out there. She grows everything for food naturally. So that's a blessing that we have that, but we want to build on it. So we'll talk to those brothers maybe another time about how we can invest in the farm and get the farm going. But Brother Bruce, it's on you. If you want to go through everybody and do member share, that's on you now.
Sir, ladies first, who we got on the top? Miss Lady J, did you want a member share, ma'am? You're muted right now, ma'am. You got to unmute.
Hi, everybody. I was in, Yvette, they were calling you. Are you still on? Are you still on?
You can go first, Sister Lady J, and then I'll go back to Sister Yvette. She's trying to join in now. And thank you for joining. I love your podcast, by the way. So thank you for joining.
Thank you so much. Yvette invited me to come on. We were hanging out today, so she was telling me about this, and I was like, this sounds really great because this is something that I would love to be involved in. So so far I love it. I'm just sitting back listening and, want to see how I can fit in and participate.
Well, thank you so much. We'll definitely keep you informed of all of our meetings and all of our events. And basically, in a nutshell, we just try to bring our community and uplift our Black people all over the world. And thank you for joining us. It's a blessing and it's an honor, for real.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sister Yvette, you back in?
I'm back.
Okay, I see you going off your phone. I wanted you. I didn't see anybody about the farm, but did you want to go into it a little bit?
I finally to pick up her CPR station to call to let me know she's up the wrong way. But I'm sorry about the disconnection. It just connected. I don't know. But it's good to see everybody.
Yes, yes. Okay, so what we can do is we can table them for maybe our next meeting. Because I definitely want to hear about what's going on with the brother and the farm and everything, if that's cool. Okay, back on you, Brother Bruce. You might be freezing.
Yes, sir.
My wife doesn't have anything to say. She said she's with me though. I see a lot there.
Yes, sir. Miss Charlene Foster.
Really quick, because I know you touched on it. Messiah's event. Anybody care to share a little bit more about it? I know Lady J, I thank her for being one of the co-organizers, same as Mama Yvette. So if either one of you want to share about the event and the event itself and what it is that we need to do going forward, if you don't mind.
Okay, so can everybody hear me? I'm not. Yeah, I'm not ready. So basically, the event for Mosiah was a legal defense fund event. He has some more fees that he has to pay his attorney and also for paperwork and for testing, and he just didn't have the money. So we came up with the idea of having an event for him, and not just to focus solely on him, but to also talk about the plight of Black men in our community, what they're up against, and also talk about mental illness. So we had a panel there, and we had somewhat of a panel discussion about mental illness and how it's impacting our community. So that's basically what the event was about. I don't think that we came close to raising enough money for what he needs for his defense. But, we're going to come back together again and brainstorm and see if we can come up with something else to help him. Right now, his date for, they're trying to set a trial date, but when we went, it was postponed. And so now it's postponed until I think sometime in January. But that we definitely have to try to figure out a way to get him the money that he needs to continue to pay. His legal defense team is really great. So, that's what that event was about.
Awesome. Sister Yvette, did you want to chime in or are you still breaking up? We might have lost her. I had a question for maybe you or Sister Charlene, Lady J, though. When we talked about mental health, and Brother Mosiah, I know he's dealing with the trial and everything, but I also just worry about his treatment now.
Mhm.
You know, how is that going? Is he been able to get proper treatment? Because I don't want, you know, I just try not want, I don't want him to lose that portion of it as he's going through a lot of the things. I want to just make sure he's seeing his son and getting that good quality of life more than anything. How is he being
He-
treated well?
He is getting treatment, and he really has been getting treatment from, you know, the onset of this, because I do counseling and therapy as well. So I was with him the entire time he was in the detention center. I was going in and out counseling him, and they gave me like free access to come in whenever I wanted to come in and talk to him. So when he came out, he went into Shepherd Pratt. And Shepherd Pratt has been working with him and, you know, giving him the medication that he needs. He's keeping up with all of that. He doesn't have custody of his son, but, you know, he gets to interact with his son. And so right now, we're just all trying to stay around him, because I think as it gets closer to the trial, you know, setting up this trial date, you can see him getting a little nervous. And the great thing about it is, for the second time we went to court, we filled up all of the seats in the courtroom, first and second time. It was standing room only. So that's what we've been pushing for everybody in the community to come out and speak on his behalf. Messiah is now very open about his mental health issues. And he's been talking about it because he doesn't want other men to go through the same thing that he's been going through and holding things in. He has a long journey ahead of him as far as his mental health, but he is keeping up with it. And I think it's good, you know, for other Black men to keep interacting with him and pushing him, and because you guys know how to talk to each other and do the man talk. And so that's what he really needs also.
Awesome. Thank you for that. Yeah, we want to take it in our division. We want to take a big stance on mental health as well. Because people don't understand that's a lot of our issues is mental health, which stems to other crimes and other problems and so forth, and it's systematic. So getting treated for that and acknowledging it is very important. So I thank you for touching up on that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go ahead, Brother Bruce.
Yes, Lenora, did you want to share?
Good evening. I don't have much to share. I was invited by Brother Everett. This is my first meeting, so I'm listening and learning, and trying to understand the thought process. I'm just chiming into the meeting really. So thank you for welcoming me.
And I want to thank Sister Lenora for joining us. She is actually, I believe you're in London, right, Sister Lenora?
Yes, that's right.
She's a sister from London, and we're working on building a division over there. It's a little tough to get with her sometimes because I think we're like 6 hours apart in time frame. But I want to link her up with our brother, Michael Harry. I think they're closer in time and start building so we can get over there. So thank you again. And I really appreciate you for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Go ahead, Brother Bruce.
Yes, sir. Let me see who else we got.
I think we want the brothers.
Yes, sir. Kimya Nora.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dr. Kimya. I'm sorry. You're right.
Dr. Kimya.
Hey, so thank you. So yeah, today we had the small business pop-up. So now I'm a member of the Greater Baltimore Urban League Guild. I was a member of the Urban League in North Carolina when I lived there. And so for the guild, today was the pop-up. I did a Black health resource table. So I'm a community advocate, sociologist, criminologist, professor. I specialize in Black mental health, Black suicide, Black disability, firearm access. And at the table, I had information about SNAP, EBT, GED pretest. I had information for the Black nurses. So I introduced some people to UNIA because unfortunately, most of our people are not familiar with UNIA. So just did that for a long time today. And then Shauna and I are going to plan some events for February and April that pertain to some holistic health approaches. So we're going to be collaborating with some community members to address some legal methods to address Black health. And so I'll keep you all updated on that. So thank you.
Thank you so much for that, and I appreciate you for letting everybody know that we're still here and we're still moving, and I got your back. Whenever you got something, just hit me and I'm there. I got you.
I need some more Black nurses handouts, flyers.
Oh,
So
I got you. I'm
down
gonna
to
get some
2.
more done. All right, I'm gonna get them done this week. I'm gonna hit you up and I'll meet you and I'll drop them off to you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Back on you, Brother Bruce. We almost through.
Oh, my bad. Dr. Shams, how you doing, sir? You want a membership?
Ladies first.
Ladies first, brother.
Yes, I love the information that was shared tonight. And on my website, which is not helpful, USA Legislation's people.bracesites.com, I have a link there called the Unification of Member Nations. That's how we could reach out to the rest of the world also. And I also have, I believe I have a link there called United Nations. So we could definitely do some networking with those two. And then as far as Brotherhood and Unity, I have Reverse Enrolling Intro on there as well. But one thing I want to say about Brotherhood and Unity, it was said by our beloved prophet of the Moorish Americans, Noble Drew Ali, Al-Haj Sharif Abdul Ali, that we should be careful unless our own brother lead us back into slavery. Be careful of our own brothers and sisters too. Some of us have the interest of what we're going through at heart. Others want to play with it, commit suicide on the whole nation or whatever, helping the enemy and all. But we got to be careful, like the brother was saying. The brother gave his speech very good. He was saying that we should be careful about those type of things. And it makes a whole lot of sense. I just want to state my website one more time. And if anyone is interested, they can either call me or go directly to the website. And the website is not helpful, USA Legislation's people.bracesites.com. I didn't put it in the chat this evening, but I guess I could after this session here. My phone number is area code 718-373-2680. That's 1-718-373-2680. Peace and race first.
Race first, Dr. Shams. And but before I let you go, you sent me, I think you sent it by mistake. But you sent me a whole bunch of credentials, and the truth be told, I didn't know you was you're actually a doctor, a PhD type doctor. You sent me some credentials by mistake. It was like a whole bunch of degrees. You got to unmute.
Okay, there we go. Yes. I sent you the information, so you know a little bit about my background. Anyway, I could be useful to the organization and government. I also sent you a list of advertising outlets so we could reach the rest of the world here in America, as well as the diaspora, Africa, and other places, South America, and wherever our people may live at or be, on this planet Earth, But we definitely need to reach out to our people, build up our organization, government, and here in New York, I don't know if they have an African Legion or not, but security is.
That's our strongest legion right there. So I get you with Brother Quahid.
Yes, sir. Race first.
Race first. Go ahead, Brother Bruce.
Did I answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Now I'll look back at it because I thought you sent it to me by mistake.
So we got J turn B. J turn B. Did you want to remember share?
Not really. This is my second meeting. I found out about you guys through Frank at the Curbside Peace Rally a couple of months ago. Just still learning, still willing to learn.
Yes, I remember you. Thank you for joining us again. You're getting it. I put you in the text box, so you're getting the Texas, correct? Text. I heard it's not Texas, it's text. I got my kids correct me all the time and my wife. So it's text. Wonderful, wonderful.
Let me say this.
Yeah.
I missed the first part of the meeting, and I know it's being recorded. How do we get to hear the first part of the meeting, the African brother share?
I record the meetings and then I download them to the YouTube link. And I will send you that link probably sometime tomorrow.
Okay.
Gotcha. Go ahead, Brother Bruce.
Yes, sir. Mr. Cameron, did you want a membership, sir?
No, I didn't have too much to speak on
building.
tonight. I thought that we had, as far as the speaker coming in, you know, he did a really good representation. I hope that we can find more brothers like him and maybe have him come on and speak some more. So, but other than that, I didn't have too much to say.
Mr. Mosiah, did you, Mr. Mosiah Fit, did you want to share, sir?
I just want to say thank you to the UNIA division in Baltimore for showing up to my legal defense fundraiser. I love y'all. I'm always a Garveyite for life, and I will keep y'all abreast of my case and my situation. Thank you.
I say, my brother.
Race first.
All right. Mr. Richards, did you want to share, sir?
Yeah, I just had to unmute, sorry. Race first, family. With the African Legion, I will be meeting with me and Brother Bruce is supposed to hook up tomorrow and start, you know what I mean, networking and planning how it is, what it is, our duties are supposed to be, and how we want to move forward with like the whole African Legion. I know he said that brother, he had gotten with Brother Cam, and he had expressed a couple of things that he wanted to see. So hopefully, you know what I mean, if me and Brother Bruce and maybe Brother Cam, if he's available, we can hook up tomorrow, and we can get this, try to get this African Legion going, not only for our division, but for like the UNIA and the whole. I'd like to thank Brother Everett for, you know what I mean, even thinking of us, you know what I mean, to put us in that position. Slowly but surely, you know what I mean, we're moving along. And I would just like to take a moment just to say, you know what I mean, thank you to President Winchester, you know what I mean, for like for the work that he's doing. I don't know, you know what I mean, if y'all see all like the text or the Facebook, but he out there. He's absolutely out there, and I don't think that should go unsaid. You know what I mean? He's out there. He's working. He's absolutely working, and he's keeping our name out there. And I just like to say thank you, President Everett, man, because man, you out there grinding, man. And sometimes, man, when you be sending me like these text messages, you know what I mean? They're like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning. I'll be like, man, what is this dude talking about, man? And you know, but man, you hold it down, your family, your basketball team, your business, and you hold it down to UNIA, man. You're doing a fabulous job, man. And I don't think, you know what I mean, that you get to hear it enough, man. So I just want to tell you, you know, me myself, thank you, man. I think you're doing a great job, man. It's phenomenal, as you would say. Later, thank you. Race first.
I do say that word a lot, don't I? Yeah, it's my word, so, but I appreciate you. The check is definitely in the mail, and you know, I appreciate you.
That's terrible.
Go ahead, brother Bruce.
Oh man, Mr. Shaw, did you want to share, sir?
Yeah, so I missed last week, but I'm happy to be here again today with you guys. I like the presentation. I also wanted to mention a little bit about the mental health and legal defense event that we went to on Monday, hosted by Lady J. There was some mention at that event about a hub, creating a hub. And when I was there at the time, I said to myself, well, UNIA is the hub. And basically what we were talking about, one of the brothers made a mention of a wheel having spokes, and those spokes being connected to a central hub. And we have a lot of different organizations that do a lot of positive things in Baltimore, around Baltimore, in Washington, D.C., and across the country. And I think that we have to start thinking more about how we can develop this hub, how we can stay in contact with one another a lot more. And, you know, we don't always have to be at all the events, but we may want to be aware of all the events that are taking place because, you know, not every event applies to everyone. For example, Sister Kimia, she is a member of a lot of different organizations. And, you know, there's ways that we can support all of them. So, you know, just I put that out there to say we have to think more about our role of being a global government and becoming a hub for other organizations to come to for resources and information. So, you know, Lady J, I'm putting that out there for you. Actually, I'd like to get in contact with you so we can talk more about developing that calendar because I told Sister Charlene that I felt like that was going to be my job to develop that online calendar. And I definitely will, by all means, take on that charge to develop a calendar where we can put all the events and dates of other organizations that are doing events in Baltimore so that we can be aware and we don't bump heads. A lot of times we're planning things and not thinking about other organizations that have something already happening, or ways that we can support multiple events all in one day. So that's something that we, you know, can work on in the future. I know it's a lot, but as we grow, you know, we just think about how we can bring in more members, how we can collaborate with other organizations. And I think the worst thing that we ever say is, you know, we can't get along with this person, or, you know, we can't deal with this company, or we can't deal with this organization, because the fact of the matter is we're not in a position to say we can't work with this Pan-African organization. We're in a position that we have to collaborate with every organization that is doing the type of work that we are doing. There's no time for any type of you know, I guess what's the word, contention. Like, we're all working for the betterment of our people, and we have an enemy that we're fighting. So if we're fighting each other, then we're twice defeated. So I think that we just have to find ways to put aside our differences, talk to these other organizations, because a lot of times it's out of ignorance or a misunderstanding why people don't support you. And so we just have to continue to put our word out there to stress to everyone why we're here, what we're here for, and continue to do the work. So, you know, the course, the plan has never changed. Marcus Garvey put everything out there for us to follow. It is 100 years later. So some things and the approach we have to take is different in some ways, but the end goal is still the same. So in that, I'll say race first, and I'll talk to you guys soon.
Race first.
Race first,
Race first,
second
brother.
vice.
Dwayne Page, did you want a member share?
Let me see.
Brother
Sometimes,
Bruce.
sometimes brother
Go
Dwayne can't
Yes, sir.
Mosiah and Lady J got their hands up in case you didn't see it.
Oh, I didn't see him. Sorry about that. Go ahead, Mr. Mosiah.
I just wanted to say, I actually sent out an invitation to several UNIA members to join an app called Time Tree Calendar, and it's very modern, it's up to date, it's fast, and it's a good way for everybody to be able to stay in touch with what everybody is doing. All it takes is a second, a touch of the finger on the phone, and you can send out information, events, activities in seconds to everybody that's on that app. So it's called Time Tree. I'm gonna send it out to some of y'all again. But the UNIA can have its own Time Tree calendar so that people can be informed about what's going on, and they can also add their own events.
Thank you, brother Messiah. You sent that? Let me look at it. I be getting so many texts. I'll double check.
I did get that, and you gotta send me an explanation next time, because I don't just click on anything. So yeah, I appreciate that. I'll follow up and join right now. Thanks.
Miss Lady J.
Yes, I was going to say that Mosiah had set up a calendar, but I also wanted to say that the other thing, Mosiah, I'm going to send you the information for the calendar, but every Saturday I'm at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center, and I'm dealing with dealing with mental health issues every week. And this coming Saturday on the 3rd, I don't know if you all know Mr. Reginald Williams, but he's written a book, and it's dealing with Black men and their sons. And so he's going to be there at 11 o'clock. We're there from 11 to 1 at the Downtown Cultural Arts Center. That's one of the things I want to be putting on the calendar, because I would love to see our Black men there, even with their sons as well. But he wrote a book, and I interviewed him, and the book is actually amazing. And it talks about, why Black men act the way that they do. And a lot of it is from childhood. So he's written this book to actually teach men how to interact with their sons.
I think he has, is that he's something, a marginal voice? Is that it?
Yeah, marginalized voice.
Okay, yeah, hopefully we had that, I think the breakfast with the Black Men United Saturday, but what I'll do is I'll see if I can do both, but I'll get some brothers suggest from that to do each. That way we can have somebody to represent us for sure.
Oh, good, awesome, that'll be great.
Yep. Back on you, brother Bruce. I think we're almost through.
All right, I just wanted to say a couple of things. Our community is spread out all over the United States. You got folks condensed on the East Coast, then you have people in the Midwest, then you have people in the upper Midwest, like Chicago area, and then you have people over in the Detroit area, and we have a lot of African Americans down south and everything. So each one of our plights in this country is going to be different than everyone else's, right? So my situation as far as the African American plight is going to be different in the area that I live in than it's going to be in Baltimore. So there's a lot of great work happening in Baltimore, a lot, and I kind of wish that I had a lot of you guys right here in Columbus because there's a lot of people that are here that don't even know anything about Marcus Garvey. They don't know nothing. I mean, they're just lost. And when I say lost, I'm talking about totally lost. They're not rooted in a community like Baltimore is. Baltimore and the DC and those areas like that. So hopefully if in time if I can get something started here, we can live up to the Baltimore division, just like Baltimore division is, with a lot of strong Black people here, just like you guys have. And you know, I'm gonna tell you, man, y'all do a lot of great events every day. Mr. Winchester got something going on every day. You know, it's never a day when I pop on Facebook, I don't see him doing something. He's always active in everything. So there's a guiding light in the division that keeps it bright and everything. All right, a very bright light. And so that's some serious leadership right there. I do want to bring up one more thing. I don't know if you guys know who the Southern Poverty Law Center is. They actually are an organization that searches around, and they listen to people, and they go through events that happen, and they look for hate groups, right? So hate groups, UNIA is not a hate group. Mr. Winchester directed me, and because I ask him a lot of questions, I try to keep up what's going on with the UNIA, and we have a preamble. And in that preamble, Mr. Winchester directed me to the things that the UNIA stands for. So earlier we were talking about the collaboration and everything. We have to be careful, like was already said, on who we collaborate with, because they could be on this hate group watch list, right? So every now and then, if you ever get a chance, just go pop up, you know, Google Southern Poverty Lawsuit and see who you're dealing with and everything. Just because they're Black don't mean that we need to collaborate with everybody. We can have some things we participate in, but there's a lot of things we should not participate in. All right. So I just wanted to say that and everything. And one more last thing. These Caucasian people have made it now that a lot of states are becoming permitless concealed carry states, right? Ohio is a castle doctrine and a, what is that other one? The castle doctrine and stand your ground, all right? So we have to look at those little laws too. So these guys openly carry guns. I mean, like literally, you can openly carry guns anywhere. But it seems like wherever there's a lot of high population of Black folks, y'all not allowed to do that in those areas. So I just wanted to bring that up, so then that way we can always pay attention what's going on with these with the laws and the things that are going on. I appreciate you guys letting me member share.
Not a problem, brother Bruce, not a problem. You know, whatever you got. And that is something, like I said earlier, we want to partner with people. We just got to be mindful to protect the association at all costs. And I think that is it. I want to thank everybody for coming out.
Brother President.
Yes, go ahead, Brother James.
I'm sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. While we have like a bunch of, while we have like a few people from other organizations on, I want to share something, man, from a ride. I do Lyft sometimes. I do Lyft on the weekends. And I picked up a brother, picked up this guy, white guy, and me and him, we were talking. And one of his friends had applied for the medical program at Johns Hopkins. And he shared with me that one of the ways when they were recruiting his friend to come there for like the medical program was that was the violence in Baltimore. And this really struck me because they're using the violence in Baltimore as a recruiting tool. And they promised him that he would get all types of training because there's a trauma victim coming in every day. He's like I said, I think he said something about Baltimore has the highest number of trauma victims in the country. So if he really wanted like to train and to be a great surgeon and be able to handle all types of situations, this is why he needs to come to Baltimore. We have to understand who we're dealing with and who, and we all know that Johns Hopkins is right in the middle, you know what I mean, of the Black community. Matter of fact, they're buying that property well, I can't say buying, the city is giving them property within the, you know what I mean, within the Black community. And they are recruiting doctors to come there because of the trauma, because of the violence, because of what's going on in our neighborhoods. And I think that, you know what I mean, when we get off this call, for each one of us to think about that, man, and what it is that we're doing and what it is that we want to achieve, that this, to say that this school is actually recruiting doctors off of the number of people, you know what I mean, the number of people that look like us, that are being shot, that are being stabbed, that are being beat down, that are on drugs. This is what they're using as their recruiting to. They're using us as their recruiting to for doctors to come to get their experience, to be a surgeon, to be whatever it is that they want to be. They're using us as their recruiting tool. I want y'all to think about that. Yeah, but race first. Thank you.
Race first.
Race first. And shout out to Sister Rachel. I saw you came in. I let everybody know that you had hooked me up with the brother from the podcast. So thank you so much for doing that. And I know you're just tuning in. We're about to end, but I'm going to send out the link for the meeting so you can have a review, okay? I got you covered. All right, everybody, if you can after me, unmute your mic. So one God.
One God.
One God.
God.
One aim.
One aim.
One destiny.
One
destiny.
Africa.
Africa.
For the Africans.
For the
For the Africans.
For those at home.
For those home.
And for those abroad.
And those
abroad.
And as we do, we start with the anthem of the UNIA. Stand by real quick and I'll get that out. And thank you again. And also next week we're going to next month we're going to meet in person. I'll let you guys know the spot because we got to keep meeting in person and making sure. And I think it's really building now. We got a little tied up. Zoom is great, but that in-person stuff is awesome. So here's our Ethiopian anthem.
Ethiopia, the land of the fathers, the land where the gods love to be. As storm-clouded night sudden gathers, our army come rushing to thee. We must in the fight be victorious, as swords are thrust outward to gleam. For us will the victory be glorious, when led by the red, black, and green. Advance, advance to victory, let Africa be free. Yes. Advance to meet the foe, advance to meet the foe, with the might of the red, the black, and the green. With the might of the red, the black, and green. I say.
All right, family. Thank you for tuning in. I'll send out the link tonight, and everybody have a blessed day. I'll let you guys know the next meeting because we're going to move around for the holidays, and I'll definitely let you know the meeting point. Thanks for tuning in. Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Race first.
Race first.